Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. This is it. It is finally here. We have the real true opening day for the Major League Baseball season. We have everything kicking things off this Thursday, March 27th. We're going to completely break down all of our 14 games we have coming up Thursday. Look at the matchups, try to predict the outcome. Who's going to win, who's going to lose, and what the final score will be. And we'll also go over our best bets. That's the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. We'll break all of it down, try to predict the outcomes. But first things first, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments about these games or anything else, please, by all means, drop them below. I will respond to every single one of them. It was a really long offseason. There was free agents. There was money getting spent. There was chaos all throughout the Major League offseason, and that's exactly what you want to happen for baseball. But the time's finally come. We know that we had the Dodgers, Cubs, but now we have the real true opening day when all of the teams are going to be facing off, matching up. We have American League versus National League. We have a lot of really good games. It is finally here for us to break down these matchups. Enjoy this time. There's really nothing in the sports world like opening day for the Major League Baseball season. Guys, we break down every game every day all throughout the Major League season, and we also do the same thing for football, college, and NFL. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, but let's not hold back. Let's start breaking down these matchups. Let's start looking at them. Let's go game by game. The very first one we have, of course, kicking things off, we have the Milwaukee Brewers. This game's going to be on ESPN March 27th. 3 p.m. on ESPN. Everyone will be able to watch this one. We have the New York Yankees. They are going to be at home hosting the Brewers. It's going to be a really good matchup. Milwaukee has a 42% chance to win this game, and New York has a 58% chance to win this game. It's going to be a pitching duel on pitching duel. You have Carlos Rodon starting for the Yankees. You have Freddie Peralta starting for the Brewers. Last year, Peralta, 11-9, 3.68 ERA. Rodon, 16-9, 3.96 ERA. You had the Brewers coming in here. They were averaging 4.8 runs per game, hitting 248. And then you have the Yankees, one of the more powerful offenses in Major League Baseball. They were averaging 5 runs a game. They were also hitting 248. For the team ERA, you had the Brewers coming in 3.65. You had the Yankees coming in at 3.74. Two top-notch pitchers. The big news for the Yankees is, unfortunately, obviously, they're not going to have Garrett Cole starting off the season. Still, they have one of the best starting rotations in all of Major League Baseball. But if they have Garrett Cole in there, he's the ace of this club. They would have had one of the best, if not the best, starting 5 of all of baseball. But yet, still, you have to take this game seriously because, obviously, they have Aaron Judge. Last season, Aaron Judge had 58 home runs. You cannot overlook this type of guy. He single-handedly can deliver this game for the Yankees. 144 runs, 322 batting average. This guy was the MVP last season, almost eclipsed 60 home runs for the second time. Right now, the Yankees, they are the favorites. Looking at the Vegas spreads here, how they have this game lined up. You have the Yankees are going to be 1.5 run favorites as of currently right now, sitting at minus 152, and the over-under is going to be 8 on this game. This is an interesting matchup because the Yankees really don't have a great batting order. They have Judge. They don't have that much protection around him unless we get a good season from Cody Bellinger, Goldschmidt. If guys like that come back to form, look for the Yankees who have a lot of pop this season, but we need Chisholm and all those guys get on base, cause some chaos on the base pass, and obviously for the Brewers, they're going to have William Contreras. He drove in 92 runs last season. He hit 281. They don't have a bad batting order. They have a decent team. They have about a 500 type baseball team. They have Ortiz, Turang, Churio, Contreras. They have some weapons there. The Yankees don't have the order, but I'm going to go with Carlos Rodon to have the advantage and for the Yankees to pull off the win in this game. But it's going to be a close one. Yankees win 5-4, so we're going to go with them not covering the spread. So with the plus 1.5, we're going to go with the over on the runs, but we have the Yankees winning it still. And then staying on the American League side, we have at 3:07 p.m., we have the Baltimore Orioles visiting the Toronto Blue Jays. We have Baltimore going all the way to Toronto. This is going to be an AL East matchup, and it's going to be a pitching duel. When you look at Baltimore, they really don't have a very deep pitching staff by any means. Actually, probably one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball. The Orioles have a 52% chance to win this game. Toronto has a 48% chance to win this game. But Eflin should be able to have a good game. He was 10-9 last season, 3.59 ERA as a team for the Orioles. They were averaging 4.9 runs. They hit .250 last season. The team ERA 3.94, but they lost some of their core guys on that rotation from last season. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him to be their stud, to be their star going forward, the ace for this club, because this is an Orioles team who came in second last year in most home runs per game. They are a very powerful lineup. They can smash their way to wins, but will that be able to carry them down the stretch? Looking at the Blue Jays, they also have a big lineup, but they have a lot of question marks, obviously, with Guerrero Jr., with Bichette. There's a lot of guys that they are just hoping to be able to keep on this roster throughout the season and into the future as well. Berrios, he went 16-11 last season, 3.6 ERA. As a team, the Blue Jays, they were averaging 4.1. They were hitting .241, and their ERA was an abysmal 4.29 for the team. But can they smash their way all the way to victory? Guerrero was that guy last season. He had .323, 30 home runs, drove in 103. And on the other side, you have the Orioles come in here. They have power, and they can hit for average. They can get on base, and they have a really good young core of players. Will they be able to deliver for this game? When you're looking at the Vegas odds to who Vegas is predicting is going to win this matchup, you have the Orioles coming in. They are 1.5 runs favorites. They are -118, and the over-under here is 8.5. And looking at the Blue Jays, they are +1.5, and they are -102. This is going to be a matchup I could really honestly see going either way, because when this game gets into the hands of the bullpen, really anything can happen here. But I'm going to go with the Orioles winning this one 7-4. I have them covering the spread, and we're going to go with the over again. And then next matchup we're going to look at moving over to the NL East. We have the Philadelphia Phillies at 4:05 p.m. visiting the Washington Nationals. A lot of people are picking the Phillies to potentially win the NL East, and they have to be one of those favorites up there with the Dodgers to potentially be representing the NL in the World Series, maybe even winning the World Series. This is a team with pitching. This is a team with hitting. They bring back their crop of players from last season. And then you have the Washington Nationals. There's honestly not much to say about them. One of the worst teams in the NL East. You have Zach Wheeler, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Last season, he went 16-7, 2.57 ERA. And then you have Gore. He went 10-12 last season, 3.9 ERA. Looking at the team stats from last year, you have the Phillies coming in. They averaged 4.8 runs per game. They hit .257, very solid on the offensive side. Their team ERA 3.85. And for Washington, they scored 4.1 runs per game. They hit .243. And the ERA for the team, 4.3. When you're looking at Philly, they have speed, they have power, they have position players, Schwarber, Turner, Harper, lots of weapons on the team. Zach Wheeler last season, 224 strikeouts per game. And on the other side, Washington, they're going to need a massive game from their young players in order to have a chance to win this game. But Gore's going to have to keep this game low scoring. Looking at the matchup of how Vegas sees this happening, obviously, they have the Phillies coming in as the heavy favorites for this game. Right now, Philly 1.5 run favorites. They are -173, and they are, the over-under here is 7. And on the other side, Washington +1.5. They are +144. And like I said, the over-under is 7. I'm going to go with the Phillies winning this one. I have them winning this one 6-2. I have them covering the spread, and we're still going to go with that over here. Pitching's probably going to be a little shaky this first couple weeks. And on the other side, one of our better AL matchups, you have the Boston Red Sox, one of those underdogs, one of those teams to keep our eye on for the AL East. They'll be playing and they'll be visiting the Texas Rangers at 4:05 p.m. This is a really good matchup. Texas Rangers have one of the best, one of the most elite offenses, and they have an underappreciated pitching staff as of right now. Looking at this game, it's going to be Crochet versus Eovaldi. Last season, he went 6-12, 3.58 ERA, and Eovaldi went 12-8 with a 3.8 ERA as well. Boston, last season, 4.6 runs per game. They hit .252. Their ERA, 4.04. And the Rangers, they drove in 4.2 runs per game. They hit .238, and their team ERA was down there at 4.35. But with the Rangers, you have to appreciate that they have their guys coming back young. Pitching staff is going to be much improved with a full season, hopefully, from Jacob deGrom. Look for Corey Seager to have a massive season this season. And as of right now, You have the Rangers at home as the underdog. The Red Sox -1.5. They are the favorites here. They are -112. The over-under is 7.5 runs. Rangers +1.5. They are -107. And like I said, the over-under is 7.5. Right now, Boston, 51% chance to win this game. The Texas Rangers have a 49% chance to win this game. I'm going to go with the close game, but I'm going to go with the upset. I have the Rangers pulling off the win here. 4-2-3, going with the +1.5, but we're going with the under. And then our next game is going to be an NL matchup at 4:10 p.m. We're going to have baseball all day long. We have the Pittsburgh Pirates visiting the Miami Marlins. Miami, one of the worst teams in the MLB this season. They have a lot of pieces they have to work on. They have Alcantara, and outside of that, they're going to need a lot of things to go right for them. They're going to need a lot of pieces to work. They have one of the worst pitching staffs. They have one of the worst offenses in all of baseball. But will they be able to piece enough things together to at least get an opening day win here for the Marlins? This is going to be Paul Skeens. Obviously, so much hype around this guy off the field, on the field. He went 11-3, 1.96 ERA. Sandy Alcantara coming back. We know when he's on, one of the most elite pitchers in baseball. But the problem is the Marlins need to get him some runs. They need to give him some run support. Right now, Pittsburgh last season, 4.1 runs per game. They had a 2.34 average, a 4.15 ERA. Miami, an abysmal 3.9 runs, 0.244 batting average, and their ERA, one of the worst in Major League Baseball, 4.73. That's bad. That's going to put a lot of pressure on their pitching staff to make sure that they have to deliver this game. Right now, Pittsburgh, 58% chance to win this game. Miami, 42% chance to win this game. Pittsburgh, 1.5 run favorites. They are -155. The over-under here is 6.5, and the Marlins, they are the underdogs, and they're also +130. This is a tough one here. I can see Pittsburgh winning this one as long as their starting pitcher delivers this game. It's a lot to ask Sandy Alcantara to have a great game his first time back. So I'm going to go with the Pirates winning it, but I do think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. I have Pittsburgh winning this one 4-2, covering the spread. We're going with the under. In the next matchup we're going to be looking at, we're going to stay in the AL. We have the Los Angeles Angels visiting the Chicago White Sox. Chicago, last season they lost 121 games, one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball history. They'll be improved over last season, but honestly, they really can't get much worse. As of right now, you're going to have the Angels as the favorite. That's also not saying much right now. The Angels, you guys wasted Mike Trout. You still have him, though. Perhaps you can piece together a respectable season. Trout, I hope you're able to stay healthy this entire season. They're going to be going with Kikuchi. He was 9-10 last season, 4.05 ERA. And then you have Washington. You have the White Sox going with Burke. 2-0, 1.42 ERA. The Angels, they were averaging 3.9 runs per game. Pretty bad. .229 batting average, ERAs. Both of these teams are awful. This game's a toss-up. It's a flip. Could go either way. 4.56 ERA. Chicago, 3.1 runs per game. That's the serious number they had last season, and their batting average was .221. Both of these teams can't hit. Both of these teams can't pitch. Their ERA, 4.68. This is, I hate to say this, but this is honestly going to be a suck fest here. It's a flip-em game. It's a pick-em, 50-50. This game could honestly go either way. It's basically who's going to have that momentum at the very end of the game. The Angels, 1.5 run favorites, -152. The over-under here is 8. Chicago, +1.5. They are +127. And then you have the Angels, 58% chance to win this game. Chicago, 42%. I'm going to go with the Angels to win this one, but it's a tough one to call. Because like I keep mentioning, both of these teams are not very good, but the Angels are slightly better. The Angels win this one 5-2. They cover the spread, going with the under. And then moving back over to the NL, we're going to have the Atlanta Braves at 4:10 visiting the San Diego Padres. This is the NL East versus the NL West. Both of these teams are playoff caliber teams. Both of these teams have deadly lineups. Looking at this game, we're going to have Chris Sale, one of the best seasons of his career last season. This guy's a Cy Young guy. He went 18-3. 2.38 ERA. He showed he can come back from those injuries. Hopefully, he stays healthy this entire season. The Braves, you can make a run at the World Series, but you need to make sure that that pitching staff stays healthy. They're going to be playing. King will be starting for San Diego. 3 13-9 win-loss record last season, 2.95 ERA. For the Braves, they don't have their full offensive lineup back, but once they get Acuna back, this lineup's going to be deadly. One of the best in baseball. They average 4.3 runs per game. They hit 243. Their ERA, 3.48. Very respectable. And for San Diego, one of the best offenses. They average 4.7 runs. They hit 263. A really good offense, a really good batting average offense. Batting average is very underappreciated in today's modern game, and their team ERA 3.86. This is one of those games you have to respect both pitchers. You definitely have to respect Sale, but you have to respect the offenses on both sides. The Braves, 1.5 run favorites. They are negative 128. The over-under here is 7. And then the Padres, plus 1.5, and they're also plus 109. The Braves, 54% chance to win this game. San Diego, 46% chance to win this game. We have the Braves starting out the season with a win on the road. They win this one 6-3. I have them covering the spread. We're going to go with the over. And then the next game we're going to be looking at, we have San Francisco visiting the Cincinnati Reds. This game's going to be at 4:10 Thursday afternoon. You're going to have Webb getting the nod for the Giants. Can he get back to his old form? Last season he went 13-10, 3.47 ERA, and Green on the other side. Last season he went 9-5, 2.75 ERA. The Giants, also one of those teams you got to keep their eye on, but the Reds are also an outlier to potentially make a run at the playoffs this season. Right now, the Giants last season, they averaged 4.3 runs per game. They hit 239. Their team ERA, 4.1. And for Cincinnati, they averaged 4.3 runs per game. They hit 231. Their team ERA, 4.09. Both these teams were basically virtually a lock from where they placed last season. It is one of those games opening day where you really have to keep your eye on the starting pitchers. Pitchers are usually pretty shaky that first month of the regular season. I said this game's a 50-50 matchup. Vegas right now has San Francisco as the underdog. Technically, the Reds, they are 1.5 run favorites. They're negative 110. The over in here is 7.5. And the Giants, negative 110. And like I said, they are 1.5 runs favorites. I'm going to go with the Giants winning this game to start the season, and I think it's going to be really close. I have them winning this one 4-3. I'm going to go with that plus 1.5, and we're going to go with the under. This next matchup is also one of those potential playoff-on-playoff matchups for the AL. This is going to be the Guardians visiting the Kansas City Royals. For the Guardians, they're going to be starting things off 12-8 last season, 3.47 ERA versus Reagan's for Kansas City, 11-9, 3.14 ERA. Both teams have very talented offenses. Both teams have pretty decent pitching staffs. Right now for Cleveland, they average 4.4 runs per game. They hit 238, and their ERA last season 3.61. And for Kansas City, last season 4.5 runs per game, a 248 batting average. This is a Kansas City team. This isn't the World Series Kansas City team was that back in 2015, but this is a very talented young team, and their team ERA last season 3.76. So much hinges on Bobby Witt. We know this guy, one of the most exciting players in baseball. Last season hit 332, 32 home runs, drove in 109. Very talented team, and they have a pretty decent pitching staff, especially when you look at what they will be capable of potentially. And then this is one of those games that you really have to keep your eye on, though. Who's going to win this? Because either one of these pitchers are more than capable of pulling off the win. Kansas City, though, they're the favorites. 1.5 run favorites are negative 129. The over-under 7.5. And on the other side, the Guardians, plus 1.5. They are plus 109. That over-under is 7.5 runs. We're going to go with Kansas City winning this one. We have them winning it 5-3. We have them covering the spread. We're going with the over. In this next matchup, this is an actually really exciting matchup. This is NL versus AL. We have the New York Mets visiting the Houston Astros at 4:10. The Mets, potentially the winners for the offseason. They bring in Juan Soto, and they re-sign Pete Alonso. They have Lindor. They have so many weapons. One of the best 1 through 9 batting orders in all of baseball. Where they're very questionable is going to be their pitching staff. They have Senga, but after that, the pitching staff is very questionable, and he has to make sure that he stays healthy throughout the season. But they're going to be rolling out Clay Holmes, the reliever turned starting pitcher. If he plays the way he's been pitching during spring training, he's going to be another one of those secondary aces that they'll have. Last season, he was 3-5, 3.14 ERA. He'll be pitching against Valdez. Houston, one of the most successful baseball teams over the last decade. Can they continue their run of prominence? Last season, 15-7. 2.91 ERA. The Mets last season, one of the better offenses in baseball, 4.8 runs. They hit 247. Their ERA, 3.94. They're going to want to bring that down this season. They need a better performance from their starting pitching, especially down the run towards the playoffs. Houston, they average 4.6 runs per game. They hit 262. One of the best hitting teams in baseball, and their team ERA was 3.74. When you're looking at the matchup here, you have the Mets coming in here as the underdogs, 46% chance to win this game. Houston, 54% chance, and you have the Astros 1.5 run favorites, -130. The over-under is 8, and the Mets plus 1.5. They are plus 110. Net over-under is 8. I'm just going to throw it out there. If this is a 50-50 game, I'm going to go with the upset. I have the Mets winning this one. I can see a home run from one of their 3 power guys. The Mets win this one 6-4, going with the plus 1.5, going with the over. And our next game is also one of those potential 50-50 matchups. We're going to have the Minnesota Twins visiting the St. Louis Cardinals. Can the Cardinals get things back on track? This used to be one of those teams, just like the Astros, one of the more successful teams of the last 2 decades. Right now, the Twins are going to be going with Lopez. Do not underestimate the Twins. They're going to be much better than they were last season. To me, they will be making the playoff, whether as the AL Central team or as a wild card team. Lopez last season, 15-10, 4.08 ERA. And then you have Sonny Gray on the other side, 13-9, 3.84 ERA. Minnesota, they have some pop, they have some power. They average 4.6 runs per game. They hit 246 last season's ERA. They got to get that ERA down this season. That is where their weakness would be. That's their Achilles heel, 4.26 ERA. And for St. Louis, they got to get the run game going. They fell off last season. They only averaged 4.1 runs. They hit 248. And their team ERA, 4.04. You are going to be looking at this matchup. It is a 50-50 split. Minnesota, 50% chance to win this game. St. Louis, 50% chance to win this game. You see a commonality here with looking at the Vegas spreads. You have Minnesota the favorite, 1.5 run favorite. They are -111. The over-under here is 7.5. The Cardinals plus 1.5, and they are -108. This game, I can see how the Cardinals could win the opening day matchup. Opening day is always a tough one to call. Both teams are rusty. Both teams aren't at their full form, haven't been playing full time. But I'm going to go with the Twins to have a really good opening game. I have them winning this in a low-scoring game, 4-2. I have the Twins covering the spread, but going with the under. And then one of those games that everyone is going to be watching for sure at 7:10 p.m., of course, on ESPN, the Detroit Tigers versus the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers trying to make the run at the most wins probably in a regular season in baseball history. Looking at the Tigers, they're going to be going with Skubal. He was 18-4 last season, 2.39 ERA. This is their ace. This is a guy, if anyone's going to stop the Dodgers from getting a massive run to start the season, it's going to be him shutting down those bats on the other side. But the Tigers are also going to have to score some points. The other side, they're going to be going with Blake Snell, 15-3, 3.12 ERA for the Tigers. Last season, 4.2 runs per game. They hit 234. Their ERA, 3.61 for the Dodgers. A very banged-up team last season, and still they won the World Series. The best offense in baseball, might be the best lineup top to bottom in baseball history. They average 5.2 runs per game. They hit 258. Their ERA, 3.9. That pitching staff this season is legitimate. And who cannot say they have the best player in baseball? They have Ohtani, 310 last season, 54 home runs, 130 RBIs, loaded top to bottom. Mookie Betts, the guy's still banged up. Freddie Freeman, a little banged up. But even without those guys, this lineup is scary top to bottom, but who's going to win this game? This is a tough one to call. Tigers, 42% chance. You have the Dodgers, 58% chance. The Dodgers, 1.5 run favorites, -154. The over-under, 6.5 runs. The Tigers, plus 1.5, and they're plus 130. I kind of waffled on this one. I went back and forth. Call me, you know what, I'm going to go with the Dodgers. Well, this is so tough to call. Like I said, I've been going back and forth. I want to say the Tigers win it. I have faith that the pitching's going to win this game, but I'm just going to go with the Dodgers to win it. I have the Dodgers winning this one 4-2. I have them covering the spread. I'm going with the under. And then looking at the AL, we have the Athletics versus the Seattle Mariners. This game is going to be at 10 10 p.m. on NBC. This is actually a good matchup. You have Severino making the switch, moving from the Mets over to the Athletics last season. Solid season coming back from his injury play career. He went 11-7, 3.91 ERA. He'll be pitching against Gilbert, 9-12, 3.23 ERA. The Athletics last season, they got to get those bats going. They only averaged 4 runs a game. They hit 233. Their ERA 4.37. That's just not going to cut it these days. And for the Mariners, they averaged 4.2 runs per game. They hit 224. Really bad batting average, but they did have some injuries. They were not a full team last season, and their team ERA 3.49 runs per game. The Mariners are the favorites here at home. 1.5 run favorites, negative 169. The over-under is 7, and the Athletics plus 1.5, plus 142, and that's 7 over-under. The Athletics 40% chance to win this game. The Mariners 60% chance to win this game. I have the Mariners winning this one 6-3, covering the spread, going with the over. And now our final game of opening day for the 2025 season. We have the Chicago Cubs, playoff caliber type of team here, versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, also a playoff caliber team. Do not forget the Diamondbacks. Last season, they didn't quite get back to where they were. Very talented team, potentially could get back into the playoffs. This game's going to be at 10 p.m. We're going to have Steele pitching for the Cubs, 5-5 last season, 3.07 ERA. Galen pitching for Arizona, 14-6 last season, 3.65 ERA. Arizona can score some runs. Right now for the Cubs, 4.5 runs per game last season. They hit 242. Their ERA, 3.78. The weakness for the Diamondbacks is going to be their pitching staff from last season. Very, very questionable, but at least they average some runs. They can ride that offense to some wins here. Galen, if he has a strong season, he can lead this team back to the playoffs. Last season, they averaged 5.5 runs per game, one of the best in baseball last season. They hit 263. It's that ERA at 4.62. Looking at what Vegas sees. Right now, Chicago, 45% chance to win this game. They want to get some wins. They've been losing to the Dodgers recently. And then you have the Diamondbacks at a 55% chance to win this game. The Diamondbacks, 1.5 run favorites. They're negative 134. The over-under here is 8.5. Vegas sees some runs being scored. And for the Cubs, plus 1.5, plus 113. The over-under is 8.5. This is a tough game to call, but I'm going to go with the more proven pitcher, even though the Cubs have already technically started this season. This is not their opening day. I'm going to go with Galen, have a strong start to start the season. I have Arizona winning this one 6-4, covering the spread, going with the over. Guys, that's all of our picks and predictions, our best bets for all of our baseball games for Thursday, opening day of the 25 season. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below, and I will respond to everyone. Thank you.